Western Conference Finals Game 3 is final. Oklahoma City Thunder handling the Spurs quite easily in San Antonio as the Thunder rolled to this 123-108 win. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 26 points, tying Victor Wembanyama to lead all scorers. Wembanyama also with 26 points in this one as well. McCain, 24 points off the bench. Jalen Williams, 18. Thunder rolling right here. 76 bench points for OKC, the most in a playoff game in franchise history for them. And now to discuss what became a pretty ugly Game 3 win for the Thunder, we say hello to CBS Sports NBA analyst John Gonzalez. And John, we saw the Spurs go on a 15-0 run to start the game. It looked like they were going to jump all over the Thunder, but then the defending champs came to life pretty quickly and they didn't look back. What'd you make of OKC's ability to recover quickly and then roll to this Game 3 win?
Yeah, at 15-0, I thought that this is a wrap. We're on to Game 4, and Oklahoma City's going to have to figure out a way to even up the series. And instead, Oklahoma City just kept plucking away. And especially on a night when SGA was scoreless in the first quarter, and it really took him a while to get going. He got most of his offense from the free throw line, but this was one of those total team efforts by the Thunder that really speaks to their depth, because Chet Holmgren has basically been a zero in this series. AJ Mitchell only played 17 minutes. It looks like he's got an injury situation going on. Isaiah Hartenstein did all the little things, rebounding, passing, playing defense, but he's not a scoring machine. And then Lou Dort gave him literally no points. So your starters outside of SGA, with no Jalen Williams missing a game again, were not very good tonight. So what happened? Here comes the bench. The bench rallied to this thing where Alex Caruso had another big game. Kason Wallace was good. Jalen Williams had 18 points. That's a playoff career high for him. As you mentioned, they set a franchise record with 76 playoff points off the bench. And Jared McCain, we really got to call him out. A guy that they got at the trade deadline goes for his own playoff career high with 24 points. A guy that's new to this team, took the most shots of any of the Thunder tonight off the bench. He outscored the Spurs bench by himself. And they needed all those points from all those guys and all that contribution. And it just, there's a reason why the Oklahoma City Thunder are the defending champions and the 1 seed. And it's SGA and Jalen Williams. That top line talent is really good, but it's really about their depth.
Yeah, it certainly is. Now, you mentioned Shai Gilgeous-Alexander having a hard time in the first quarter, going scoreless in that period. He still ended up with a double-double. We mentioned the 26 points. But the thing that really stood out to me was his game-high 12 assists. What impacted his role as a facilitator in Game 3? What impact did that have, and how much more of a factor could that be the rest of the series?
Yeah, it was huge. It was similar to Jalen Brunson in Game 2, where the Cavs sort of slowed down Jalen Brunson from a scoring perspective, and Jalen Brunson went, okay, well, I'm going to figure out a way to influence this game, so I'm going to have a ton of assists tonight and set up my teammates. Same thing happened with SGA. Scoreless in the first quarter, had a hard time getting some buckets to go, decided, all right, I got to get my other teammates involved, right? So here he is, dishing out assists, 12 tonight. He was fantastic doing that. And then in the same way that Jalen Brunson figured out a way to influence the game, it wasn't just the passing for SGA. He's really hard to keep off the free throw line. And once he gets there, he's automatic. He was tonight. 12 free throws tonight. We talked about it in the pregame where I said he needs to get to the free throw line more. He only shot 8 in the previous game. Well, 12 tonight makes all 12. That is really, really difficult for the Spurs to slow down because he's so good at it. Now, you heard the crowd chanting flopper on him because they don't like how some people call it foul grifting. I call it using the skill set that you have, right? He's really good at baiting the defense and getting to the free throw line, and that's extra offense for them. That's easy offense for him and for the team. So yes, slow start for him, not a very efficient shooting night, but still figured out a way to be super impactful tonight.
Another word for that is gamesmanship. I think you could use that as well. He certainly is a gamer in that regard. Now, the Thunder were without star small forward Jalen Williams in this one, and we did see the other Jalen Williams, a power forward, perform well in this one. But without the other Jalen, the small forward, they managed just fine. What makes OKC so well-suited to absorb his absence in the event that he misses even more time with his nagging hamstring injury?
Yeah, I mean, for any other team, that would be a killer, right? You take a guy like Jalen Williams, who last year missed or made All-Star, he made All-NBA, and he made All-Defense. If you took a guy like that off of basically any other team in the league, that would really hamper their ability to do basically anything that they'd want to do. And instead, the Oklahoma City Thunder are still rolling, right? Jalen Williams, that's his 56th game that he's missed between the regular season and the postseason for the Thunder this year. And the reason why, and it goes back to what we talked about earlier, is their depth. Sam Presti has done such a great job of building redundancies into these teams. So Jalen Williams goes out. In comes A.J. Mitchell. A.J. Mitchell, you slide him in. He could have been the sixth man of the year this season if he hadn't missed some time with an injury. Then he goes out with 17 minutes left. You think, oh, man, that's a bummer. It doesn't matter because you still have Alex Caruso, who's playing really, really well in the season. You need scoring and ball handling. Here comes Jared McCain, who they got from the Philadelphia 76ers at the trade deadline. And of all the teams in the NBA that you would think, how are they going to find time for Jared McCain? You'd put Oklahoma City at the top of the list. But again, not only credit to Sam Presti, credit to Mark Daigneault for figuring out how to use him, and he used him in the fourth quarter where a guy that they just got from the Sixers a couple of months ago is running their offense for the defending champs in the fourth quarter of Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals and puts up a playoff career high. That organization is just so smart, so well run, and they do so much more with what the pieces that they have. It's really remarkable.
Yeah. Now, like SGA, Wemby had a 26-point night for San Antonio on Friday, but all those points weren't enough to keep this one close for the Spurs. What were they missing around him in this game?
Yeah, the Wemby thing is really strange, right? Because he didn't get his first paint points in this game until late in the third quarter. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching this and I'm almost screaming at my television screen, like, what's happening here, right? Why is Wemby not in the paint? Recall game 1 where he absolutely dominated the paint and the Spurs won the points in the paint going away. Tonight, Oklahoma City was actually +2 in the paint. That should not happen with Victor Wembanyama. Now, late in the third quarter, it's almost like everybody on the Spurs went, oh yeah, we've got Victor Wembanyama. He's 7'5". Maybe we should throw him a couple lobs, get him going in the paint. And then after that, he was 5 of 8 in the paint, but it was just way too little too late. And it was very curious. And part of that is on Wemby because he's got to be more aggressive getting into the paint and knowing like, hey, I can dominate those guys down there. And part of that is on Mitch Johnson. Those are some tough questions for the Spurs head coach to answer. Like, what were you thinking about with Victor Wembanyama's shot diet? Why was he so far out of the paint to start so many actions and so many offensive sets? It's one thing for him to set the high pick and roll. That's fine. But why isn't he rolling into the paint and dominating down low? So that was very curious. I thought, De'Aaron Fox coming back was great for them. He had an ankle issue that kept him out before this, and then he missed some time in the game because he re-aggravated, but he came back. But those two guys really got to get that two-man game working, and it was just, I think, like inexcusable and inexplicable that it took them that long to get him going down there.
Yeah, also inexplicable was some of the tensions that we saw there in the third quarter. They really reached a crescendo at times. A couple of hard Thunder fouls as they were trying to stop some fast breaks. That had the Spurs taking some exception. The benches, of course, got hot. A punch was almost thrown. It just seemed like the Thunder actually rolled after that moment. So how spicy will Game 4 be, do you think, John?
Yeah, shocking. These two teams do not like each other. And I thought, look, I understand why Stephon Castle was upset about some of the fouls. He's hyper athletic, but because when he's loading and he goes to jump, there's so much force there. If you hit him on the arm, all of a sudden now, you've changed the trajectory of his leap and he goes flying forward. So I didn't think that the foul on Alex Caruso was a dirty foul at all. And the foul after that by A.J. Mitchell, I didn't think was dirty at all either. But yes, there's some difficult contact there that Stephon Castle took umbrage with, and then Devin Vassell came to his rescue. But for all of us, if you're not a Spurs fan and you're not a Thunder fan, if you're a neutral and you're watching this game, yeah, spicy is a good way to describe this because now the Spurs are down 2-1 after having beaten Oklahoma City during the regular season 4 out of 5 times. Well, now they've lost 2 out of the last 3, so they can't get down 3-1 to the defending champs. Going back to Oklahoma City, they absolutely need to tie this up in Game 4. So they're going to come with that energy. The building's going to have a lot of energy. You're going to hear a lot of flopping chants, and it should be a really good one. But yes, these two teams, not fans of each other.
Not at all, but we are fans of this series. We're fans of this game, and we're all going to look forward to Game 4. It's going to be a fun one. John Gonzalez, thank you as always, my friend. A quick look at the Thunder and the Spurs this season. You just heard John talking about it. The first 6 games of the year, well, it was a 1-5 record for OKC. The last 2 games in this matchup, the Thunder have ended up winning them, and they've won them by a pretty significant margin. There you see the 122 points per game. The Thunder have scored, and they've allowed just 110 points per game in the last 2 games. We will see what the next iteration of this one holds. Game 4 is on Sunday.